So it's part 2 of my 2-part walk downtown, and once again I'm in the Hotel Saskatchewan, which is part of the Marriott Signature, I believe, collection. And take a look at I guess it's a gingerbread house, kind of, over there. That's the lounge there. Coffee shop. And now we're heading home. I have a mask on, so I sound a little muffled at the moment. There's a kind of a beauty shop in there, and the barber shop. This is where I get my hair cut. The meeting rooms, the oak room. We're going out the back entrance here. Use my mask, so I'm a little less muffled. Had a good lunch, talking about public. Shadowpaw Press plans to publish some other authors, and I have one in that with somebody who's a more established publisher. We'll go. I'll stretch this out a little bit walking back. It has certainly warmed up since I walked around. They said it was going to. The SAS Power Building is still very much under renovation. This, of course, is Scar Street that we're on. And if you look down that way, it takes you down to downtown. There's the Twin Towers, the two matching towers there. And then on down that way to the Cornwall Center. But not going that way today. It's quite a bit warmer, actually. So I guess they weren't lying about it warming up as this wind blew in. This is Blessed Sacrament Catholic Church. I've sung in there. We used to record not Canadian. We recorded some recordings, CDs in there. Walking into the sun, so I can't really see the screen. If you say hi, it take me a few minutes to realize that you've said anything. That's as high as the sun gets. Some here. In the summertime, that would be late afternoon, but it's a little afternoon here. 1:30, I guess. Do have to get back and get some, get that writing job done that was not finished before I headed down here, because my computer was being recalcitrant. There's nothing worse than a recalcitrant computer, if you ask me. Sun came out while I was in the hotel having lunch, though. Sun came out and it got considerably warmer. I'd say now it's just a little bit below freezing. We'll go down. I'm going to sort of zigzag my way over and then come back on College behind the college buildings that are in front, I think, is my plan, or possibly just along them, I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to zigzag my way down to College. That part I'm sure of. You can see how much work is going on the SAS Power Building there. Designed by Joseph Pettick, an architect I knew pretty well. Inspired by, if I remember right, that one. I like this apartment building over here. I don't usually come at it from this direction, but you can see it's a big old place, but has character, to say the least. And may all your Christmases be white. Someone was singing White Christmas in the hotel, so now that song is stuck in my head. See, it's quite a large apartment building. of the older variety. Now, it looks like it carries on down to this wing, but that's actually a separate building there. They match very well. Maybe they were built by the same people, but they're not actually connected. There you can see the gap between them. You see how much it's warmed up? It's actually melting in the sun. Wasn't doing that when I came down just a couple of hours ago. Once I get my riding done, I better come out and scrape the sidewalk. Hope it's fresh snow, what little we had. There's supposed to be more coming. The last time I looked, but we'll see about that. Oh. The tallest building in Regina, to this in text, is the Delta Hotel, which is 20 stories. There's a few in that ballpark, but I think that's the actual tallest one. City Hall is 17 stories, and the Twin Towers are, I don't actually know, 18 maybe? I don't know if they're, I don't think they're 20. Carefully on the ice here. Some more old apartment buildings here for rent if you're looking. Over there, that's actually an office building. Prairie Dog, which is a weekly, is it a weekly or a monthly alternative newspaper, is in there. I don't have much use for the Prairie Dog since their politics are definitely not mine, but they do a lot of arts coverage as well. And it's an attractive older apartment building. I like the pillars on it. This one reminds me of buildings in Arkansas where I went to university. Again, I've walked down this way quite a bit, but rarely in this direction. So I don't believe I've ever shown the front of the building quite like that before. That one. Shoelaces flopping. I can't tie it. It's just too difficult. It's a coffee shop over here that Abstractions, it's actually called, but it's in my Shards of Excalibur series. That's, I believe I called it the Human Being. But that's, if you read those books and you run across the Human Being coffee shop, that's where I pictured it being. More or less, although the neighborhood isn't quite matched to what I described. There's that end of that apartment building. Drug mart over here, not the most interesting. Why? Not much of a playground. And then you've got these are fairly recent constructions. Condos, I presume. Over here, it's still an apartment building. There's one for sale, so they must be condos, or it wouldn't be for sale, it'd be for rent. I've been in one of these years ago. I know somebody that lives here. I don't know if he still lives here or not. They're reasonably nice. Fairly pleasant streetscape anyway. If you're wondering about the sound, I gave up on the external mic. Yesterday it not only quit, when it quit, it made the picture go fuzzy, which doesn't make sense, but it did. So I decided I would just give in and just use the microphone. on the iPhone. Building there, office building there. This here's 15th. We're going over to Albert. To Broad, I should say. Albert's way down there. We're headed to Broad over here. I mentioned my laptop died. However, from years ago, I have this little fold-up Albany Place Bluetooth keyboard, which I was going to use to take notes at this meeting, but as it happened, I didn't really feel the need. I did take it with me. It does work. I can totally write on my phone, and I might actually do that as I start into my next writing project, which I think is going to be, there's a fairly new condo building here, which I think is going to be the fourth book in the World Shapers series. Noir World, working title. I was going to start it today, but things haven't worked out with all the various problems with computers and things. But once I do, I might try writing on the little fold-up keyboard instead of on my laptop, even once I get it back, which may be a few days. Because there are fewer distractions writing, which is the keyboard and the phone. It's a lot harder to decide to, check email or Twitter or something. So I may try that. I know it works. I wrote all of Marseguro using this keyboard, basically, I think. On what at the time I think was a Windows phone of all things. Yes, there were Windows-based phones at one point. I think that was before I even had an iPhone. But it definitely works with the iPhone. I've tried it out already. It's a pretty nice little keyboard. It's rigid. It doesn't have the top row of numbers, so you have to press the function key to get the numerals. But for writing, it's not bad, and it's fairly rigid, which is nice because it means you can even hold it on your lap if you need to, and it doesn't fold up too much. It certainly worked for me. This is an old house. It's now, I think it's a computer place, actually. I'm going to cross the street here. It's get the timing pretty well. Hope the wind noise isn't too bad. I'll check it when I get home and see just how bad this was, just relying on the microphone on the iPhone. I only came this way to stretch it out a bit. Not the most direct route by any means. This is the former college building. At one point I think it was the normal school for other things. But when I first moved here, it was the where the theater department was of the university, among other things. There was kind of an interesting little theater going to a show in. But it was entirely gutted and redone. So the facade is there, but the interior, there's nothing left of the old building, except in that central tower. That's still the old interior. The building was originally built, at least on the bottom floor it is. Among other things, Sask Books is in here. That's the Association of Saskatchewan Publishers that I'm on the board of, as was the person I was having lunch with today. So we're discussing publisher things. There's the tower. they kept the streetscape, even though it was completely renovated. And now it's home to the soundstage. If you've ever seen the program Corner Gas, much of it was shot in here, the parts that weren't shot outside in Rollo. So the Ruby set and things like that were actually in this building, in the soundstage. A bit of old art here still, like that. Because the college building coming up next was home to the arts department at one time. Shall I walk in front of it or behind it? Maybe I'll walk in front of it. Guess I haven't really been along this way for a while. At least start that way. That's where Central Collegiate was at one point, and they built 3 condo buildings there, and we own a condo in one of those buildings. Not this one, but the one around the corner on Hamilton. Sorry, on Scarth. This is Hamilton. Look this way. Under this shed is a giant frog, a sculpture. I don't know what the plans are there. They've just had it covered for quite a while now. I presume they're going to restore it. At the moment, it's a shed with a frog inside. You'll have to trust me on that. This road has not been plowed for use, but there is a road here. Do not enter, but I don't think that applies to foot traffic. So the college building here was completely renovated. This would have been the original building for what became the University of Regina. Built well over 100 years ago now, I don't know, I should know, 14 maybe, 12, somewhere along in there. So when they renovated it, among other things, this end down here has elevators, so it's much more accessible. There's a great old lecture theater in there that was being fixed up. I haven't seen it since they were working on it. It must be done by now. It's what they call collegiate Gothic style. This is where, among other things, the Conservatory of Music is. Conservatory of Music and Performing Arts. I once took a dance class, of all things, high up in that tower. Modern dance, believe it or not. I renew. So I'd go in, except I still have to put a mask on. It's too much trouble. So this is just the facade, and it's entirely new behind that. A lot of the old buildings still exist, like the old interior still exists down here. This takes you right through the building. And this is just a facade in front of a whole new structure because this wing was not in good shape. Conservatory of Performing Arts, I guess that's the proper name now. Still, it looks great. And then at this end again, to match the other end, there's this new addition. And they've been redoing the landscape in between these two. And then this is Dark Hall, which at one point was the premier performance space in Regina. And with the renovations, is going to be very nice again. It's now accessible, and, new seating, new stage, new technical equipment. These brass railings are relatively new. So this used to be the main entrance. Now it'll mainly be used as an exit. Like after a show, you can come out this way. But the entrance will be around here where it says Dark Hall. Earlier today it was quite chilly. When I walked down, I think it was about minus 11 Celsius. Right now, I'd say it's just a little bit below freezing. It's supposed to go up to around freezing today. There was a big wind when I walked before, and it was actually blowing in warmer weather rather than colder weather, which is nice for a change. It's supposed to be above freezing this weekend for a couple of days. We'll get some melting. So right now, I guess it's about minus 3 or 4, maybe even a little warmer. So this is the new shared lobby space with the brand new credit union building here. So when you come to a show at Dark Hall, you'll actually come in here. You can come from either direction, and you'll go in on this level and then go up to the auditorium. I'm looking forward to whenever they have their official opening. This is a credit union building. I'm going to go back up to college, I think, and then maybe walk around the Royal Saskatchewan Museum here as I continue my journey home. Yeah, it's several degrees warmer than it was when I walked down just 2 hours ago, so it was pretty quick. Pretty quick change in temperature. Ice. There you see the credit union building property. Dark Hall next to it. This is Morin Street. If you're wondering, perhaps you're not. And this is College Avenue again, that I'm now turning down. Usually when I walk down here, I'm on the other side of the street. You don't see these buildings from a distance, some of the old houses here. That one, like that, what looks like an old garage or carriage house is actually new. It replaced the original one. So that building's been quite heavily renovated. It's an old apartment building there. We'll go down here by the backside of the Royal Saskatchewan Museum, is my plan. Home to Scotty, well, a cast of Scotty, the T-Rex found in southwestern Saskatchewan, which I was there when he was still in the ground and they were getting him out. I interviewed for a documentary. I did off-camera interviews of some of the scientists involved. I think I got something like a assistant producer credit or something like that. Some rather surprising credit. You can see the dome of the legislative building there in front of us. The lake is between us and it. There's the old Sask Power building. I was commenting on how much wind there was around it when I went downtown, but it's less now. Way so I can walk by. This is actually where most people come in, is on this side of the building, because the parking's along here. And if you look up, you can see the bas relief of Saskatchewan animals here on the side of the Royal Saskatchewan Museum. It used to be the Saskatchewan Museum of Natural History. because it is a natural history museum. I should go in with the camera. There's no particular reason I can't. I'll do that one of these days. The Royal Saskatchewan Museum. It's a public space. I don't think they'd have a problem with that. There's also a theater in here that I performed in a few times. Down at this end. There you go. Royal Saskatchewan Museum. Main entrance. Open. Welcome. Okie dokie. What shall I do? Maybe I'll walk through the snow over here. Looks like there's been, for whatever reason, a vehicle has gone this way. There's not really a road here, but it's been used as that, clearly. So I'll follow it. All this sort of construction-y looking stuff over here is kind of the staging ground for the new Wascana pool. Swimming pool that replaces the old one at the turnaround. When the opening for that is, hopefully they're planning to have it ready. I would hope they're planning to have it ready by the next outdoor swimming season. As you can probably tell, this is not outdoor swimming season. I imagine this is kind of a road because they have to get equipment over here, I guess. I don't know why else there'd be a path here. Because it's really not a road, it's going over the grass. You can see the lake there, which I will walk around on Friday. Where I'll be tomorrow, there's a couple of possibilities. Either Harbor Landing, where I have to go to get my laptop repair underway, or I'll walk down to South Albert, where one of my cars is getting a new alternator. Okay. Follow this. I'll take the crosswalk over, and we'll be almost home. Finish that little writing job I had. It's due. I only have a couple of hours to wrap that up. It's due at sometime South African time, of all things, which midnight, I guess, South African time, which is 4 o'clock here. So at least there's no ice on his part of the path. This is Speaker's Corner up here with the lamps that used to stand in Hyde Park in London, England. The original Speaker's Corner. And this is Albert Street, the main north-south drag through town. And that's the Albert Street. The north end thereof. Across here, as soon as I can get the light to change. Up Albert Street to the north. There's Speaker's Corner back there. And the lake and the ledge over there. And the bridge. You can see it's getting warm because it's melting a bit on the road. As much sun strength as we have this time of year, it peaks right about now. That's about, that's as good as you get. There we go. So how long have I done here? 30 minutes, 35 by the time I get home, 30 or probably 20 for the first part almost, so not too bad. Total of 50 minutes or so. Yesterday was short and fuzzy, but I actually did some walking yesterday that I did not sort of length. I could go down there, but it's kind of a dead end. See, dead end. There's certainly no way for a car to get through, and I don't think there's a way for a pedestrian to get through either. With my hat, that's how warm it's gotten. I'd be comfortable in my leather jacket. So there's been quite a good increase in temperature here since I set out. Okay, this way through the alley and home. It is easier to just use the iPhone microphone, but I'm going to check and see how bad the wind noise was. When I first started doing this, before I even tried to get an external mic, I put a little cotton ball over the microphone hole on the back of the phone to see if that would cut the wind noise. Can't say that I could tell that it did. It's a very tiny hole, really, considering how well the mic actually works. As soon as I get home, I'll get the little bit of snow off the sidewalk before I even take my shoes off, I think. White Christmas is still running through my head just because somebody was singing it in the hotel when I left. The background music. Wasn't Bing Crosby either, somebody else. I mean, once Bing Crosby did it really need to be done by anybody else? It's pretty much the definitive version. The sun is shining, the grass is green, the orange and the palm trees sway. There's never been such a day in Beverly Hills, LA. But it's December the 24th. And I am longing to be up north. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and the children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. With every Christmas card I write, may your days be merry and bright. And may all your Christmases be white. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll be here all week. See if I get a copyright hit for that. We're not going to let you monetize this video, as if I'm monetizing these videos anyway. I need something like 770 more subscribers to even have a chance at monetizing my videos. Still, I think that may be the first complete song I've sung on here while walking, so lucky you. You got to hear it. Okay, we will stop here. Thanks for walking with me. I'll be back tomorrow somewhere, not sure where. And bye for now.